All right, what's going on, family? Welcome to another back testing session on NAS100. It is November 8th, 2021. So I jumped in on this NAS trade this morning, and I actually got into this buy here a little too late. That's why you see a wick here. Let me actually turn off my indicator so you can see. Price actually bought up, got to this point, and I jumped in too late and bought up because I thought it was going to buy up. So I did suffer a loss here, but then ultimately got in on this sell, and it hit my take profit here that I also set. And then I also took another re-entry here and actually made additional money as well. And I'm going to cover that in a minute. But the first thing I'm going to do is I want to actually cover on exactly how I marked up this chart and got to this point. So that's what I'm going to actually do. So I'm going to activate my back testing tool because I actually got, I marked up my chart at this point to where price was here. And then once I got done doing that, once I got done marking up my marketing structure and figuring out what price was probably going to go and set everything up, price was actually here. All right. So now, what I'm going to do is clear my chart, and I'm going to show you exactly how I mark up my charts from the start. Now, let me go ahead and make sure that my auto save is off, which it is. I'm going to turn off all my indicators. So the very first thing that I do is mark up market structure from the 15-minute to the 4-hour time frame. So we're going to go all the way to the beginning, and we're going to start from the beginning and go all the way to the end. All right. What I'm going to do is pause this recording until I get to the beginning. Be right back. All right, so now what I'm going to do is just take a vertical line since we're at the beginning here. And this is how far I go. When it gets to the point to where TradingView is not recording any more data as far as price action and it stops, then that's when I put my vertical line and start marking everything up. I didn't mean to save that, but it's okay. I know what I did. So then this is where I'm going to actually start marking up market structure. I'm going to actually start at the bottom here. All right. So then this is going to be yellow. I'm going to mark that up. I'm going to go up to here. This is a good mark up here as well. Right up here. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start marking up my supply demand zones based off of these here. Yeah, I'm probably going to mark this up here. Mark this one up here. Mark this one up here. So then what I'm going to do is change the coordinates to these zones, and then we're going to move on to the 30-minute. Be right back. All right, so now we marked up the 15 minutes, so we're going to move on to the 30-minute. All right. We're going to do the same exact thing. So we want to make this green. Yeah, we can put one here, that's fine. Next one can go right under here. Next one up in here. Huge balance move here from resistance. Then put one up here. All right, so I'm going to change the coordinates to these zones. We'll move on to the 1 hour. Be right back. All right, so we marked up to 30 minutes. So we're going to move on to the 1 hour and do the same exact thing. All right. All right, so we want to mark up the zones here. Actually, I'm going to put one right down here instead. We'll do that. Put another one up here. Change the coordinates to this. All right, so marked up everything here. So now we're going to go to the 4 hour. Now, in the 4 hour, what I did was, since price was pretty much over bought at this point, I just went on ahead and just drew a zone right up to here. Even though technically it's really down here on the RS side, but I just went on ahead and put that up. That way I can get an idea on what zone price is really resisting against. So I just went on ahead and just drew that. Kind of brought it down just a little bit here. All right, now of course we could have put zones all in between here if we wanted to. Could have actually put another one. Actually right in here. And I'll make this red as well, no problem. All right, so now that we did that, so then we're back at the 15-minute. Now, this is what I actually do next. So step one is done. So then my job is to actually identify the trend. So we see that price trended down here, okay? And then did a break and retest, right? So price really was at this point trending up until it was considered overbought. And now it looks like it's actually trending down and it's starting to go that direction. But it also looked like that price was actually ranging at this point. So you can kind of see that. So price trended upwards. Okay. Did a impulse move all the way up, and then it looks like it was starting to range at this point. So if a price is clearly trending upward, then that's when I look for a pullback. And then try to get in for another impulsive move if price is still trending up. But if it's not and it's ranging, then I want to wait for it to break out. Now, price is trending down and I see that there's possibly another opportunity to get into another pullback. Then I'll try to do that based off of the imbalances in the market and based off of the Delorean EMA indicator setup confirmation. So my personal opinion, I mean, if you look at the normal RSI, price was looks like it was ranging, but it did look like it was starting to trend down. So at this point, what I typically do anyway is this is where I turn on the higher high and the lower low strategy. All right. And so then I basically place my two lines on the most recent high and the most recent low. So I see a low right down up in here. All right. And so then I name this one my demand zone, break and retest, no, supply zone. Let me change that to supply zone. Supply zone, break and retest. And then let's see, and then demand zone. So I'm looking for price to break out on either one of those. Now we drew this zone perfectly because notice, you know, price is kind of rejecting against this zone up here that I built. So we can just kind of bring it down here. So this was a good zone to draw. So then I turn this off. And basically what I do is I set my alarms to figure out exactly. So that way I set my alarms for these two lines. So that way, whatever candle that breaks above and retests any of these lines, whether it's a buy or a sell, then that's what I do. Because typically I want to actually wait to see which way price is going to go. Now, next thing I do is turn on my order block indicator that helps me to kind of make a better decision. So perfect example here. We see that this is the most recent uptrend here before price kind of decided to reverse and maybe consolidate or to, you know, maybe continue going up or down. So it caused an imbalance here, okay? So the way imbalances work in the market is that banks have to fill those imbalances before continuing the same direction or reversing, okay? So with this most recent trend, it's understandable that the banks are going to have to fill. Now, this is an imbalance, so they're probably going to try to fill this imbalance, then maybe bring price back up. But it would make sense if they come down and fill this imbalance, or at least 50% of it, and then decide to buy price up to maybe fill this imbalance. Or they may actually come down and fill this imbalance and then keep on and continue selling it down. So that's why I draw these two lines to really figure out which imbalance that they're going to want to fill first before proceeding, before continuing forward. So then the next thing I do is I take the risk to reward tool. And I basically, well, what I did here is I did get a signal from one of our groups that they were putting in to buy stuff for NAS100. So that kind of gave me an indication that it was going to buy up. And that's what I figured that price was probably going to do. And I drew a trend line here because even though it looked like price was ranging, but it still looked like an uptrend at that point. So I said they're probably going to buy price up to maybe fill this imbalance as well, maybe before getting to this one. But then I also said to myself, I said it's possible that they're going to try to, give me a second here. They're going to probably decide to sell price and fill this imbalance first, and then ultimately bring price all the way up and create an all-time high here and fill in all this imbalance that this trend created as well. So to do that, so what I did was I put in a long position right here, just to prepare for a buy. And I basically put my entry here. First take profit was here. All right. So now, actually, I think I set this first take profit here and then a second take profit here. Okay. Then once I set that and set my alarms and set my take profits, then I selected a risk to reward tool on the sell. And then I did it right here. So that way, if price decides to sell down, then I'll get in on this entry. And this is going to be my first take profit here, which would have given me definitely 200 pips over pips. And then maybe price will go all the way down here and maybe decide to fill this imbalance if they continue to sell it. So then I believe I put my second take profit here. So that's what I based everything off of. So with that being said, then the last thing I do is, of course, I turn on the Delorean EMA indicator. Now, when we really look at this, the yellow EMA, because the way it works is we jump in on a sniper entry when the yellow EMA crosses the red EMA. 9 times out of 10, it gives you a strong candle or a strong trend, and that's why price trended upward. So I started thinking at this point, price is probably going to buy, but we'll wait and see. Because maybe they're going to drive price to go to this high and then maybe create all-time high and then bring it down. But I also kept in the back of my mind that it's possible they could try to fill this imbalance first before bringing it up. So my team did put in a buy stop on NAS100. So then I'm going to show you exactly what mistake I did, but then also and how I suffered a loss, but then also how I gained it back. And I want to show you screenshots on what I made as well. So just give me a second here. There we go. So now, give me a second here. So I'm going to play the replay tool and you're going to see exactly how price played out. So the first thing is price started pushing up and I was going to wait for the next candle to close above, but then price started really pushing up here before it started going bearish. So at a certain point, price was pushing up and I said, you know what, maybe I'll just go ahead and buy because maybe they really are going to fill this order and then the next candle close above and continue buying up. But then price started retracing and started going down. So, and then it ended up hitting my stop loss because I ended up pulling my stop loss closer because I was thinking it was going to buy. So what I did was I actually suffered, I think, $100 and some loss. Let me look and see first. Yeah, $145 loss. So then what I did was I waited for price to keep on going. And so then ultimately, it looked like price was going to buy up again. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Let me look at my MetaTrader 4 again. Yeah. So this is what happened. So let me go back. This is exactly what happened. So Price bought up, and I thought I was going to buy up, and then it went back to fill this order. So I suffered $145 loss. Okay. Now, then price bought up again. And so I got back in. It started going back up. So I went on here and took a buy, and it hit my first take profit, and I profited $142. So I almost broke even. I was like -$3 from that loss. And I kind of pretty much recovered maybe 99, 97, 98% of that loss, and then jumped out. But then price dropped. And so then again, I actually jumped in this trade, okay, and did a sell. And basically what happened was I got into this sell, almost made some profit, but then price decided to come down, close down, and then started to pull back a little bit more. And then ultimately price went down and hit my take profit here. And that's where I actually made my $50 profit. So then I actually not only broke even, but then I made my profit for the day. So I'm back in the positive. And that's how that played out. And then of course, price went back up again. And then, ultimately it looked like it was going to buy up. And then it just started zigzagging and pushing down, and then pushing down. Could have got another entry there, but because they were trying to fill those imbalances. And that's pretty much what happened with price. It just kept on zigzagging and zigzagging. And so as you can see here, this is where price is at now. It looks like it was going up a little bit, but then it stopped. So that's how I actually traded today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share my phone screen so you guys can see the profit that I made. Let me do that now. All right, so you can see that I did take that drop. All right, like I showed you here. Now, when I took that first, I want to say this is before the buy, I believe, and that's when I made my second profit. But no, I made the $50 here. Price bought up to Price bought up to here. That's why I made this amount. This is where I bought in and then got pulled back and made the $145 loss. And then when price sold here, that's where I made the $50. You can see it was a sell. So that's how that worked. So that's how I traded it. There's a couple of things I need to get better at when it comes to my trading, not trading so fast. But ultimately, I made my money back in the market today. Looks like it's tanking again. That's what it looks like it's about to do, but the two EMAs haven't crossed. But yeah, that's how I traded today. So that's it for this back testing session. See you tomorrow. I'm going to do another one after trading the live market. See you next time.